Some very exciting news for families that have children with cerebral palsy, a potential treatment using stem cells.
And this could be the first really effective way to repair the brain damage from it. CBS 2's Dr. Max Gomez here to introduce us to a young boy who benefited from this treatment. Doctor.
That's right, and this is starting to deliver on the tremendous promise of stem cells. Let me tell you about it here. These cells came from a child's own umbilical cord blood that was banked at birth. It later became clear that some children had suffered a brain injury around birth, resulting in cerebral palsy. It was a fairly uneventful pregnancy for the Rooney family. Their first child, Patrick, was born near full term by cesarean section, and all seemed well for a while.
His left hand would be like a fist and hold the bottle to his mouth. And then when he was crawling, we thought it was cute, but his right leg did all the work, and the left leg just dragged.
It was cerebral palsy, and it didn't get better when Patrick started walking.
His left leg would turn in, and when he started walking, he walked a little later, and he would fall a lot. And then when he started running, he would trip over his left leg.
Today, you wouldn't know that 12-year-old Patrick had ever had any brain issues. The change started 6 years ago with a letter the Long Island family got from Viacord, the company where Patrick's umbilical cord blood cells had been banked. It asked if they wanted to volunteer for a groundbreaking study at Duke University with Dr. Joanne Kurtzberg. Patrick would have an infusion of his own stem cells from his cord blood and then followed for a year. The remarkable results of the placebo-controlled double-blind study are documented in a just-published journal.
We were able to look at the motor tracts, which are the nerve connections that control motor function, and we were able to show that children who had improvement in function also had either repair or development of new motor tracts in the area of their deficit.
Now Patrick has no problem keeping up with his younger brothers, and that left hand that used to curl into a fist, no problem. And even sports.
And swimming, and basketball, and baseball.
Now, doctors don't want to call this a cure, but it is a relatively simple treatment that improves a type of spastic CP well beyond what would be expected with physical and occupational therapy. As for kids who didn't get their cord blood banked, Dr. Kurtzberg is exploring using so-called generic cord cells to help those children. And his parents said this is just giving them their dreams back about what they thought Patrick, their oldest son, would be able to do. Now, sky's the limit.
You could see the relief in their body language, right?
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
It's everything to them. Thank you, Dr. Max.
Nerea fue prematura porque yo tuve un problema con el útero, ¿vale? Nació con 31 semanas y media y tuvieron que ponerle respiración asistida porque no podía respirar sola, y al quitársela fue cuando sufrió la falta de oxígeno, lo que le produjo una parálisis cerebral. No sabíamos lo que tenía, me costaba estirarle el brazo, me costaba vestirla. Cuando empezó a gatear, no gateaba, daba vueltas, no apoyaba las manos, y a partir de entonces pues me empecé a mover, pues fisios, médicos, todo, a volcarme en ella.
Cuando la familia de Nerea decide guardar el cordón, lo hace por dos razones fundamentales. Una, porque Vida es una compañía del grupo IBI, la cual garantiza confianza a la familia en la institución, y otra es que nosotros como empresa tenemos instalaciones propias, tanto en España como en el extranjero. Y esto permite una interlocución directa entre la familia y el banco.
Estaba en el trabajo y recibí un mail de Vida, ¿vale? Y al abrirlo pues había un reportaje sobre el tratamiento de células madre para las parálisis cerebrales.
El caso de Nerea nos trae a una situación que no esperábamos hace 10 años cuando empezamos, que es que la sangre de cordón se puede utilizar para paliar los efectos negativos de una patología neurológica como puede ser la parálisis cerebral o el autismo, que ahora mismo en la Universidad de Duke están haciendo en ese clínico. Nosotros pues, lo que siempre trasladamos a las familias es, si tienes recursos para hacerlo, hazlo, porque es una alternativa terapéutica para no solamente con realidades, sino también con un posible desarrollo en enfermedades regenerativas.
A partir de entonces me puse en contacto con el Vida. Se buscaron desde un principio me facilitaron todo. El tratamiento fue muy simple, era simplemente cogerle una vía y hacerle la infusión con sus células del cordón. El tratamiento duró 10 minutos. Es una pena que una cosa tan sencilla nos hayamos tenido que ir tan lejos para hacerla.
Nosotros propusimos a Victoria mandar a Nerea a Estados Unidos, a la Universidad de Duke, que es donde está la doctora Joan Cuthbert, que es una experta en este tratamiento, no solamente de parálisis cerebral, sino de otras patologías también, y que había publicado los resultados de un ensayo clínico que habían hecho con parálisis cerebral, el uso de sangre de cordón autóloga para parálisis cerebral.
El caso de Nerea sí que es un caso que haya mejorado con la transfusión. Le han hecho varios estudios, 2 estudios del Instituto de Biomecánica Valenciano, donde evidencian que todos estos cambios se han realizado y aparte han objetivado cambios en el patrón de marcha, como por ejemplo ha aumentado la longitud del paso, la simetría, la cadencia, la amplitud. Han medido un montón de parámetros y en la mayoría de los parámetros ha habido cambios en positivo. El ponerse una camiseta, abrocharse un pantalón, cortar un trozo de carne, cosas que antes no podía y que ahora le mejoran mucho su autonomía.
El caso de Nerea es un paradigma de lo que puede ocurrir en los próximos años. Se está investigando en distintas áreas el uso de sangre de cordón umbilical y también de células mesenquimales de cordón umbilical. Y bueno, hace 10 años nosotros no esperábamos que íbamos a poder ayudar a una niña con parálisis cerebral. Creemos que guardar el cordón pues es una posibilidad más que nos se brinda en el futuro.
Realmente ha merecido la pena. Ha mejorado muchísimo en todos los aspectos, con lo cual su calidad de vida y su evolución va a ser claramente diferente.
Si yo no hago todo lo posible por mi hija, no voy a estar tranquila nunca. Guardamos el cordón por si le hacía falta, simplemente, y gracias a ello ahora mi hija pues puede caminar y puede hacer una vida normal.
Right before the age of 2, we were noticing some things that were peculiar.
Gracie would be off to herself in her own world.
Happy birthday to you. A lot of hand movements.
Kicking, screaming, spitting, hitting. We would have tantrums pretty much daily. The day-to-day life was definitely a struggle.
3 months after her 2nd birthday, we received the diagnosis that she was autistic. To see where she was and see where she is now, it's amazing. I would just say, I mean, it's a miracle.
I got an email one day that said Duke University was doing this study with cord blood stem cells and infusing it with kids with autism to see if it could help. And right away, I clicked respond, let's do it. It couldn't hurt.
We were willing to try anything at that point.
They did not tell us at all like what they expected it to do, so we really didn't know what to expect.
The study tested whether a child's own cord blood would be safe in treating autism. Cord blood, which is the baby's blood left over in the placenta or the afterbirth, after a baby's born, contains lots of different kinds of cells. In children with autism, we're relying on a cell that's in cord blood that's called a monocyte. Generally, we saw behaviors improve in the children at 6 months compared to their baseline studies.
Kitchen on today's table. You put the candle holder on the table and the candle on the candle holder.
We have to do and are doing a placebo-controlled randomized trial to really answer the question as to whether the cells are really making a difference or it's something else. We don't know if this therapy will be curative for autism, but I am hopeful that it could be curative in the long run.
Before this study, autism affected probably 75% of our day, and now autism maybe affects 10% of our day.
Cooper!
Was it the stem cells? All we know is that something happened to her. Whether it was the stem cells or whether it was natural progression at this point.
A combination?
Yeah. She got better. The tantrums just got way, way better.
She became more affectionate. She would hug you, kiss you more.
Social situations got better. She didn't freak out in a crowd as much.
You still see some of the small idiosyncrasies. It's still there. It's not a cure, but I think, again, it's supercharged her learning curve.
No, I got it.
The best compliment is we'll meet new people. We'll bring up the fact that Gracie has autism, and people are shocked. They're like, if you had not told me, I would have never known that your daughter has autism. Like, it's not the forefront of her anymore.
Buzzbird. Gracie has changed a lot in these years. She used to not talk, and she used to sometimes kick and fight, but now she doesn't do that anymore. She's very sweet, calm. I feel better. I like playing with my friends, and I just like playing with my sister. Hey Grace, you're going higher than I am.